Hello everyone, Vinay here from Learn Coding with Vinay, and I would like to welcome you to my channel and the playlist ASP.NET Core MVC. In previous video, we went over project setup for CRUD operations using Dapper. That was video number 2. This is video number 3 where we implement department CRUD operations. Right. So let's dive into this further. Okay. So in previous video, I created one model called department, and we will have to make sure while working on Dapper, we will have to make sure that whatever model we are creating, the name of the property name should exactly match with the column name of the table or output of a store procedure, right? So this is the same name, we have as a database columns, and I did generated all required models over here, right, in the background just to save the video length. It's quite simple. Right. So let's move further ahead from here. Now, while working on Dapper, there are certain things that we can follow. Let me bring it to your notice. There are certain way we can start actually. So we can maintain a rhythm of working. So what do we need to do when we work on Dapper? As a part of first thing, we should have the store procedure in, right? Second, we will use that store procedure into a database access class or a service class, right? And create a method over there. And in the third step, what we'll be doing, we'll be using that method into the either controller or service method, depending on how our project is structured, right? So these three steps we will be following entirely throughout this series, right? When we work on Dapper CRUD operations, right? So let's move further here from here. Yeah. And let's make a folder called services over here in our project. So let me right click, add, add folder. So we will have a dedicated folder for services so that whatever database related code that will put down into the service, right? And let's say rename this document to services. Oh, sorry, caps on, right? And why are we creating this service folder? Because we will have dedicated interfaces for service and dedicated class to implement those service. Now, now this service classes will be responsible to interact with database using Dapper. Right. Now, why do we need a service layer? Right. So we use service layer to keep our controllers clean and focused. So controllers only handles request and generate response. Right. No logic. And service layer centralizes the data access logic so that it can be reused at multiple places. Right. So in case of let's say in a future our database is getting changed from MySQL to MySQL or Oracle, right? So we might need to change the DB access logic, right? So in that case, we will have to only modify the service layer, not the controllers. Controllers will remain unchanged, right? So that way we can make application, easy to maintain, test, and scale. Right. So let's do one thing over here for department. Let's add interface called iDepartment. So let me say add class, and yeah, let's mark this as I department service. Let's add it. So service interface is created. Let's do one thing. Yeah, actually let me mark this interface as interface, right? And let's put down necessary method signature only over here, that we will implement it, and actual implementation will happen in the department service class. Right. So let me just copy paste these methods. So rather than get all, I'll just rename these methods. Okay, so we have the operations ready. Get all departments, right? Get department by ID, and we'll have a common operation for insert and update department. We will also have a common store procedure for insert and update department that we will see in this video itself, just sometime later. And delete the department. Let me mark this delete department so it makes sense. And we'll follow this structure for entire other entities also. So let me save this. Now let's go ahead and add the class now, service class. So it would be department service class. So let's give it department service class. Let's add, and let's inherit is from department service. Right, let's say control dot, and let's inherit this department service class with inherit department service interface, and let's implement the method explicitly as of now, and as and when required we will change the methods. Okay, so we have the method in place, we have the service interface, and service uh, class implementation is also placed. We will start with, you know first the index method of the department. So we will first display the all department data onto the screen. So before we move to that, let's move to database, and let's have the store procedure ready. So let me bring my SSMS over here, and let me go ahead and run this. It's a simple store procedure, right? Okay, or replace. Okay, let me. Okay, so I had create or replace. Ideally, it should be create or alter, right? Select ID name IT is active flag from department. Right. Let me go ahead and run this, and let me test this also whether it returns all department data or not. Right. So store procedure is ready. So first step, our procedure should be ready. That is ready. Right. It is running fine from the database end. Now next thing is to implement the use this store procedure and implement a function that receives this data, right? So let's go to Visual Studio, and that method would be this one, get all department, right? So here what we'll be doing, we will be adding Dapper code to that actually reads that execute the store procedure and give us the list of department, right? So let me. Yeah. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to inject the connection object over here, right? Because we have registered our connection object in program.cs. So let me say control dot. Okay, so this is all good. And what will we? I'll replace the method with the method I have, and then I'll explain it to you guys. Okay, so now our get all, actually this should be get all departments, right? So now we have get all department method in the department service that actually uses the store procedure we just created. Let me see if the store procedure name is same. Let me just copy this, and let me put it down it over here. Right. Okay. And the command type is store procedure, and we have no input parameters. So we are keeping it as it is, and ultimately it is returning us I enable of department. Right. So we are good with this also. Now the next step is use it anywhere, wherever we want. Right. So what do we need to do? We need to add the department controller. Let me go ahead and add controller. So what we'll be doing, we will have the controller ready with read and write action method, and we will change it wherever required. So let's give it a name, departments controller. Okay, let's say add. Right, so it will give us ready-made, the index method detail, create get, create post, edit post, delete get and delete post, and we will just put down our code whatever we require. We'll start with index over here. So next step is to let's add the view also for index. So right click on the index method name, add view. We will select this one, second option, razor view, because we will also be generating the code using scaffold only. That will give us ready-made code to be data to be displayed in tabular structure, right? So let's wait for a while. Let's see here, it is an index page. Yes, what kind of template we want? We want to list data from the model. We want the department model, this one, right? And let's say add. It is taking time, let's wait. Finally, it took a little time, but the view is generated. So we have this. Now let me save this. Now let's go to the controller, and in the controller we need to now put down the code to retrieve the department. Right, so let's do that. So in the controller, what do we need to do is first we need to inject the dependency of service. So let me create the controller, and we'll have to inject the service over here. So let me replace this with the code I have already. Right, and this would be departments actually. Right, so we have injected the service so that we can use it later in this controller for other operations. Right, one more thing we need to add is we'll have to register the services, every service that over here in program.cs. So let me do that. Right, so let me do it after this. I have the code ready for that also. Okay, so this is good. Let me close this. And in the index method, now let's call our method from the service. So what do we need to do over here? That, just give me a moment. Yeah, so let's go ahead in the index method. Let's take where departments departments is equal to, we will say underscore department service dot get all departments. Okay, why don't we get that? Yeah, okay, get all departments. Right. Okay, and pass it to the view. That's it. Now our view should be rendered. But let me also quickly check, now if we created menus also in previous video, let's see if menus are in place. So we are over here department, it's the departments controller, and in the it's the index method. Okay, excellent. It seems to be in place. Finger crossed. Let's run this and see. So the program has run. Let it get loaded totally, and then we will visit the menu. Okay, so let's go to departments. Okay, so the page has loaded. We can see all the departments over here with ID. Right. So what now? Let's improve the UI a little bit, right? So generally we are not supposed to display ID, right? So we'll remove this column from the UI. Also, we will not be working on detail section because this is very small form. It has only two column, name and is active. In the details, we are not going to display anything more, right? So let's do those changes. So let me go to Visual Studio. Let me go to index.cshtml. First, let me just remove this. Then second, let me remove this and this as well. Save it and let's see if the changes are reflected. Yeah, so we can see now name is active and only two buttons. This is good. Now let's convert all these hyperlink into buttons, bootstrap buttons. So what we'll be doing over here, we'll just say class is equal to btn hyphen primary, and we'll do the same thing. Let's remove this actually HTML helper and let's have the anchor tag itself. So what we'll be doing, I'll remove this, I'll copy this, say pipe, and I'll copy twice, and this should be edit, this should be delete, and for the parameter we need to use ASP route hyphen ID is equal to in double quote @item dot ID. Let's do the same thing for delete also. Let's mark this as primary, and let's mark this as danger. Delete is usually supposed to be in red color. Sorry, my bad. Save it, and let's say actually I missed to update the names. Let me update them as well. Alright, so we see this now converted into button, but let me change these to just edit. Let me change these to delete, and also at the same time let me make this button actually small, btn sm. So let this be btn hyphen sm. Let me say control kd so to align the code. Let's like delete this extra space, save this, and see if the changes are getting reflected. Excellent. So button are small now. We can see the tabular structure good. Now this is not index. Let's mark this as departments. This should be departments. Departments. And let's have uh, department over, and let's move create new button somewhere over here. So what do we need to do? We need to use the bootstrap grid. So we'll have to take division with row and columns as classes, right? So let's take this as row, let's take this as row, let's have two divisions, class is equal to call, and this one we will make expand up to 10 column. The next one will make expand up to only 2 column, because there we need just the button. So let me put down this over here, and also we'll reduce the size of this label. Actually it is too big. Let me make it 4, and this I have to, right, let me take this up, and let's remove this. Let me mark hr over one horizontal line over here, and also let me add class over here with table hyphen dark. Let's see what do we have now. Yeah, let the page get load. Excellent. So we have departments, we have create new button over here, we have name, this, and this. But the header color does not seem to be changed. Why? I had typo. Table dark. Let's see now. Now, excellent. So now it is working. Now the index page looks good. Right. Now let me hover this, and just notice over here at the bottom left, we are getting the ID, and we are going to land on edit page. Here we are going to land on delete page. This is good, and here we will be landing on create page. So let's work on the edit first, as we have ready made it, right? So what do we need to do? Let me stop this. First, let's generate the view for edit. So let's go to department controller. Let's click on the edit method and say right click and add view. Add view. We'll select the second option from here, say add. So from here, from the template, let's select the edit, and from the model, let's select the department, add. Okay, so edit view has been generated. Now we don't need this guy ID over here. We'll have to mark it as actually hidden. For edit, we don't need it as a text box, right? So we'll delete this. We'll delete this, and let's even delete this DUL also. Right? We don't need it. We need ID as a hidden. Right. So we will only have the name and checkbox for the is active flag, right? So this is ready. Now next thing, let's go back to database now and let's prepare the stored procedure. So I have the stored procedure ready. We have given the name USP department upsert. So if the id is past 0, it will insert the record. If id is the existing one, it will go ahead and update the record, right? So let me go ahead and run this, create this stored procedure basically. So it is created. Let me say control R. Let me take this name. Yeah. Okay. No, name is not required right now. So let's, now the SP is created. Next thing is to implement the database access function, right? So over here we will be adding upsert code into the upsert one, right? So here I'll say delete. I'll mark this as public. I'll remove this, and let me put down the code, Dapper code over here, and I'll explain it. Right, so what we are doing, we are calling the same store procedure that we created. We are passing these three parameters coming from here, right? And then ultimately it will return us the ID. If in case of insert, it will give us the new ID. In case of update, it will give us the existing ID, right? Whatever was written. So here we will actually, okay, yeah. So this look good. Now this look good. Now this we need to call it into the edit post method. But before that, we will have to load the data into edit get when edit link button is clicked, right? So we need to have a form that has the detailed displayed of that particular department. So for that we need to have the database store procedure ready first, that is get employee by id, sorry, get department by id. So let me do that. So we have the store procedure create or alter procedure get department by id. We are passing the id and it is giving us just that record. Let me go ahead and execute this, and let me even test one. Let's just pass it one, run this, and it is working well, right? So let's go ahead and now create the method for it. So let's go to the service and replace this guy now, mark this as public, remove this and have the implementation over here. Let's copy paste, let me copy paste the code over here, right? So what we are doing, we are passing just this input, one input to the store procedure. Our store procedure name is SP. I think our store procedure name is not SP, it's USP. Okay, yeah. So let me make it USP actually, department get by id. No, let me change the name also. The name is not that. Okay, let me save this and let me do the same for this department upsert also. If we have the same name, I had this department upsert. Okay, so this is good, and it has to be USP, not SP. Yeah, okay, this is good. So now we are ready. We are done with our database access code. What do we need to do? We need to access it into controller over here, right? So let me do that. Right, so I have copy pasted the code that I have. I'll explain it quickly. What we are doing, we are retrieving the selected department from the database, right? We are checking if it is there or not. Then we are returning not found. If it is there, we are returning it to the edit view. Now this code looks good. Now let's do the code changes for edit post method. Right. So in the post method, what I did, I just changed the parameter to department rather than I collection. Right, department model. Then I am checking the model. If there are any error, we are returning it. If there are no error, we are sending it to the upsert method of our service, that is department service. And once it is done, we are redirect it to the back to the index page. So let's run it and see whether it is working or not. Let the template be create. Here we'll have to select the department, add it. So we have the create view. Again, we don't need ID, so we'll be deleting this ID from here. Right, let me save this. And yeah, so this looks good. Let's run it and see. So I have run the application. Let's the menu gets loaded. Okay, let's go to department, master data, departments. I don't know whether I clicked or not. Master data departments. Okay. Let me go to create. Okay, we can see the form. Let me make a new department entry over here. Mark it as active. Let me save it. Let's see what happens. All right, so it got created. So basically, edit and create are also working fine. Now let's work on the final one. Delete. So let me close this, and let's have the store procedure in. So let's have this store procedure. Remember, we are not physically deleting the record. We are just marking the is active flag as 0, because that's what usually happens in real world project. Master data are never deleted. They are just flagged as deleted, but they are not physically deleted. Right. So let me execute this store procedure. So this is good. Let's go ahead and implement the code in service layer first. So let me remove the delete method over here with this, and let me make it actually, what is the name, it's I think delete department. Yeah, okay, so we'll have to keep the same because we have inherited it from the interface. So we'll mark this as this guy. This is good, this is good, this should be USP. Okay, let's save. Okay, so this is good. Now let's go to the controller where we are going to use it, and it is just like edit get, right? Remember, first we will be displaying the record, right? Then we'll ask for the confirmation, and then we'll delete it. So let me copy paste this over here so that department details are displayed, right? And then over here on the post we will delete the actual, so we'll have the code to call the service, right? So what we'll be doing, quite simple, we'll just call the department delete department service method, right? So let me save this, and now let's add the delete view. Actually, we'll take this. Yeah, so from here we'll select the delete template. We have delete template. Okay, excellent. We'll select the model, which is department, add it. Right, so delete view is generated. Let's save the project, save all, and let's run it. So let's go to menu, departments. Let's go to delete this department, new department. So basically we will just, it will just update this flag, right? This is the department title we are seeing. If I say delete, it will just disable this department. Is active flag will become false. Okay, it did something and the data is gone. Let me go to back to list and let's see if it is not so. Okay, so we have something not right over here. Let's debug it. So in the controller we will put a debugger over here. Right, we'll go ahead and say that delete again. And we'll say the delete. Let's wait. Okay, let's see what's going on over here. So let me see if the correct ID is coming up or not first. So id is coming up good, 7, right? So let's move ahead here. What is happening? So we have id going in. Okay, excellent. We have usp department delete. Okay, let's see what is happening over here. I think something is not right over here. Let's go over and check the store procedure over usp delete department. Okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Okay, no worries. Let's wait over here. Okay, so it says could not find store procedure usp department delete. I guess we USP delete department. Oh, okay. And I had a mismatch in SP name over here. Okay, so let me stop this. Let me correct this, and let me make sure that this we have ran it once. So let me do this. Let's go to department service and update the store procedure name. Yeah, so it's USP delete department. So I had a typo. I mean, because of the copy paste, right? So let's run it again and see what is happening. So let's go to departments. Okay, let's say delete over here. Let's say delete. Okay, let me remove the debugger. Let me just remove the debugger and say F5. Right, so this new department is now deactivated. Basically, is active flag is updated. Right, we are not physically deleted. Right, and let's edit the record and let's say change the UI quickly. Now this back to list, it has to be rather than just having the link. Let's make it button also. So let me take this up over here, and rather than this button we'll put it down over here, and we'll have the class. We'll apply the class over here, and this time we'll say outline hyphen secondary. Right, let me copy this, and we'll have a similar thing in create also. Let's go there and let's remove this, and let's add it over here. Add it over here, and let's add pipes just to separate it. Let me add pipe also here, and we should have it on the delete also, right, over here. So let me do this outline. Let's save this all, save all, and let's see if we can see the changes on UI. Excellent. So on edit screen we see the button back to list. Let me go to back to list over here, and let's go to create. On create also we see back to list. Excellent. Let's go to delete any of this. Let's go to delete, and we have back to list button here also, right? Now the UI buttons and everything looks consistent, and the department CRUD operations are working very nicely, right? So that's it in this video. We will continue from next video. In next video we will work on employee CRUD. So basically start with small things first. We'll display employees, then we'll work on edit and create employee method, right? So I hope you are enjoying this video, and hoping to see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.